I've had several examples in the last handful of weeks since we've been on of just recognizing the screwy incentive structure of the world. Specifically, when it comes to giving advice, that the incentives are towards sensationalism, PR skill, looking good on a stage or on a YouTube video or whatever, and not towards telling the truth.
Yeah.
And so I saw this, and I think I can say this much. I spoke at Traffic and Conversion Summit. I think I did a good job. I've actually seen speakers there that I know have done a good job because they've helped me. I tuned into some speeches at this thing because it was a digital event.
From other people
That were worse than not learning about marketing. I swear to God, that they would set you in the wrong direction.
Sure.
And if you opened up that person's books, I guarantee whatever method like that this particular individual was teaching, I'm not going to call anyone's particular out, is not where they make their money. They make their money convincing other people that this particular method works, and then workshopping, coaching, and...
Well, I'll give an example because my friend does drop shipping. And so he saw some drop shipper who was claiming to make $1 million a month or something, $100,000 a month, whatever it was. And so he was watching his video to try to figure out how to grow his own thing. And the guy shows his earnings. And my friend paused the video and he looks at it and goes, this guy makes no money on drop shipping and all his money teaching people how to drop ship. So I can learn nothing from him because I'm already making more from drop shipping. The only thing I'm not doing is selling how to get rich to other people. And so, it's just this huge thing where people who haven't done it will lie, manipulate data, make things look a certain way just to convince you to pay them, because it's really just a pyramid scheme. Coaches, coaching coaches, how to coach coaches, how to make money.
Totally. And I know some of these people, and they're not especially unethical by any stretch, because in knowing them, they believe that what they do works.
Well, it's weird. It's almost cult-like in the sense that you get indoctrinated into the pyramid. And then the guy above you is telling you that this is ethical, that this is great, that anyone who, it's kind of like white fragility. Like anyone who says that this is bad has limiting beliefs and is evil and is trying to hold you back and make you unsuccessful. And so they create a system where like
booby trap defense mechanisms.
You have to believe the guru, and anyone that says that the guru is bad or that what you're doing is bad because you're teaching people how to teach people how to teach people, you immediately ignore them because you've been indoctrinated into this cult.
The word that is that in success porn is haters. Ignore the haters becomes the thing that they can just be discounted, entirely. But go ahead. That's
it. That's just my only point is like, they know that people will be critical of the fact that it's a pyramid scheme. And so instead of going, I'm going to start a business that's not a pyramid scheme, I'm going to start a business that sells bone broth or whatever it might be. They just go, well, I'm going to indoctrinate my clients so that they have mental cognitive dissonance anytime someone tells them it's a pyramid scheme.
But even them, you're kind of treating them as if there's a mastermind at the top. I think what you have all the way up is self-deception. I don't think you actually have like a pinnacle guy who's like, hee, like all of these fools. No, it's self-deception all the way up. And as you get to the top, even their clients are successful. So they're like, this shit works. Like 100% of the people I talk to on a daily basis are making money. Yes, it's that the incentive structure throughout the pyramid is to ignore the vast majority of people that don't get value, that, and say, no, the system works. What's broken is the people.
Well, that's I don't know if you want to hop around, but I have another thing about incentives. But the key thing is, to your point, it's not about evil people. It's about incentives. And with the right incentives, crazy shit happens. Like when I was making this police video, I found a guy, I don't want to get it wrong. Let me look into it. So there's a guy named Michael Morton who was convicted for murdering his wife. And 25 years later, he was released because of DNA evidence. It turns out the prosecutor hid the evidence because by winning the case, he won Prosecutor of the Year and it launched him into a successful career. He got promoted, all this stuff. It reminded me of the Duke lacrosse rape case when the prosecutor hid evidence because he just really wanted these kids to get arrested. If you had an incentive system where and you shouldn't do this because it would break the judicial system. But if you had a system where if you put a innocent person in jail, you immediately get disbarred. You would never see anyone withhold evidence. But when you set up a system where if you withhold evidence and win a case, it launches your career, it makes you rich and famous, what you get is prosecutors withholding evidence from the defense. So it's just like, these predictable incentive structures create behavior that nobody wants. And that's why I think like the most important thing for people to think about is what does this incentivize?
So there's 100 ways to think about this. But what's interesting, and you gave two cases, one guy who went to jail and the Duke lacrosse kids who obviously didn't. The way the system is supposed to work is you have a horribly biased prosecutor and a horribly biased defense attorney.
Yep.
And that with all of the appeals and whatever available to them, that will shake out to get you to the truth.
Yep.
The problem is when you have a well-equipped prosecutor in this case and a garbage defense attorney because the person being indicted is poor. Right.
Yep.
The Duke lacrosse kids walked and got a big settlement because they were not poor.
Well, there's 6 of them.
Yes.
They got 6 people to pool their money
Yep.
to get the best attorney they could.
Yes.
I don't know if this guy was just a random guy, just like a middle class dude whose wife had gotten murdered.
With an excellent attorney, I believe that
Maybe,
you're...
yeah. I mean, I guess OJ. No, well, we don't know who did anything, but yes.
If he did it.
If OJ did it, his lawyer was great. No, I think that's fair. Yeah, you're at the mercy of who's representing you and who's representing the other side.
Sure.
But the point is, this wasn't just a great prosecutor. This was a prosecutor who purposefully and illegally withheld evidence.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incentives thing as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because if the defense had been playing against someone who wasn't cheating, they probably would have gotten the guy off of his conviction.
Yeah. And so this came to me, and I should call myself out first because we're not free from these same incentives. So when we make YouTube videos, for instance, like my incentive is to come up with a structure of things that one could be benefited if they did in order to be more charismatic, which is probably causes me to focus too much on specific things. Like if my only goal were to make sure that the people who watch the videos became as charismatic as possible, it would look more like Charisma University, which is fewer videos focused on a particular action. Charisma University has essentially 30 days, 20 minutes, and that's it. Like it's less stuff than the YouTube channel.
Which is hundreds of
Which
videos.
is like more.
Yeah,
like
the goal is to make each video good, but also just by having 300 unorganized videos, it's immediately less effective than a 30-day program that's linear.
Yes, and I am incentivized, for instance, to make videos about the most popular people, whether or not those are the most charismatic. So we finally got around to Craig Ferguson, and it finally did well. Yeah. But Craig is so much more charismatic and has so much more to be said about him than many of the people that I've covered before him. So we are subject to this as well, and we try to resist the worst incentivization that we have, but still play into it. But this occurred to me again in watching YouTube. People who, there's someone that I watched who did a breakdown of the income of YouTubers. And I looked and it was like 98% upvoted. And I happen to know, being a YouTuber, that the estimates were off by at least an order of magnitude, 10 times wrong. And I have reason.
Like someone making $9 million, they said that was making like $90 million.
Yes. We don't, that's 10 times is the point. And I believe that this person with gun to their head would get way closer to the truth because they have enough data available to them. But which video is more interesting? How this person makes this much money or how this person makes 10 times that much money?
They say the person's name, right? So it's like if someone were to do a video on us, and they're like, oh, how Charisma on Command makes $1 million.
Yeah.
How Charisma on Command makes $50 million.
Yeah.
What's going to get more clicks?
Of course.
$50 million.
Yes.
It's not true.
It's not true at all. Yes. And it's like people who watch this will be led down the exact wrong path. They will think that sponsors pay this much money, which is 10 times more than sponsors pay, which will make their plans wrong by a factor of 10.
Sure.
And when I look back at the beginning of our business, I'll list out a couple. Like the amount of people telling us to guest post was truly stunning. Let me just go on the record and say, if you're not guest posting on Oprah Winfrey, Joe Rogan, or the Tim Ferriss show, or the comparable thing in your niche, it is the worst thing that you can do. Why don't you build someone else's audience?
Yeah.
Like it's almost evil advice. And so many people were telling us, you got to guest post, man. You got to guest post. That's not how they got big. They had one massive person who broke them through, right? And then they say guest posting is what did it. It's like, no, that's not what you did by any stretch. And I love Tony, and we've mentioned, but Tony Robbins' book on wealth has nothing about starting a business. It's got it like Tony got rich from investing $100 a month since he was the age of 20.
Just for if people don't know, Tony Robbins is like worth $500 million. And he did it by starting his own businesses and then angel investing in other businesses. If you buy his book on wealth, he talks about investing in low cost ETF mutual funds. And that's just not how he made $500 million. Maybe it's how he went from $420 million to $500 million. But like, you'd think that if you had to chart how Tony Robbins created wealth, it would be about creating a business that's successful and then seed funding other businesses, because he now owns 10 businesses.
I think he owns more than 10. But and to his credit, he has a business mastery course which he sells, which I've seen and is good. And it's not that investing in mutual funds is a bad idea. It's just not how you master the game of money.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like talking about compound interest without talking about income is ludicrous.
Yeah. No, and to your point, he has other stuff. His Personal Power 2 audio programs.
Amazing.
Great. If you own a business, that program will help you grow your business. But it just wasn't in his book.
Yes. So I see this all the time. And this Tony's example isn't even one of incentives, because he didn't necessarily need money. Perhaps his interest was in like, I'm trying to make a book for Joe Schmo who can't start a business, because I know that 99% of businesses will fail. So maybe his even matched it. But there's at least two things happening here. People who have achieved success teaching courses that do not reflect how they did it, which is difficult. And this is the coaches coaching coaches. It's like
the guy who claims he's making money drop shipping, but he's really making money selling you how to do drop shipping.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing is what we talked about, which is the incentive structure of the creator. Take us, for instance, not matching what is best for the person on the other end. So like, look, I hope you enjoy all of our charisma videos, but the fact is, if we had 30 perfect ones instead of 300 good ones, like the people who watch them would be better off, but there'd be fewer people.
By a lot.
By a lot.
1,000x less.
By a lot. Because I would have picked no-name people, and like I didn't, and see you, which is, it's like, here's someone you've never heard of.
Think about. So what do we get, like 9 million views or something a year?
A month.
Oh, a month? Okay, so 9 million views a month.
You should look at the analytics, dude.
9 million views a month. If we just had put Charisma University up on YouTube, that was it. Just once a day we released a video for 30 days, and then we stopped. How many views do you think that would get a month? Because I think it would be nothing. like 10,000 maybe net. Well, not if we'd started with it.
Oh, if we'd started with it,
those were
zero.
the first 30 videos?
Zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we just took Charisma University, put it up on YouTube, 30 days, and then we're like, we're done. It's the perfect program. 0 people would see it.
Sure.
So like, it's only by going via Craig Ferguson and Kevin Hart and all these people that anybody even sees the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because like YouTube wouldn't promote me and you sitting in front of a camera chatting.
Well, and I don't want to confuse two things. I think that there's incentives aligned ethical marketing where you sell the beach body and deliver the diet. You know what I mean? Where you talk about like, look, here's your outcome and you can achieve it. And it's like, okay, here's the broccoli and the rigorous workout routine.
Oh, I think that's fine. Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's totally fine to sell the benefits and not necessarily the mechanism for getting there. It's like, listen, I'm not going to tell you what's in this, but 6-pack abs are around the corner.
Yeah.
And then it's like a hard workout and a good diet for 3 months. Well, that's fine. That's going to get you your 6-pack abs.
So included in that, I would say, like, it's not unethical to do a breakdown of an individual. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't think that there's any problem with that. The problem comes when you allow the pursuit of things that are good for you, views, money, etc., to completely color the data in a way that is predictably going to negatively influence the people watching it. So I think for us, like, one of the predictable things that could happen is people could get information overload. You know, and I try to make that clear in the videos. I'm like, don't watch all of these at once. And then I get these messages like, I've just binged all of your videos. I'm like, I hope you enjoyed it, because you're going to get very little from it when it's done that way. So I've just been seeing a lot of it. I want to do less of it in our business because it's gross and we're all guilty of it. And we can reduce if there's a carbon footprint, there's also a bullshit footprint of disseminating crap. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.